Hello everyone. So today we are going to learn a little bit about the heart. We're going to start off with the anatomy of it. So I'm just going to point some things out here. So first we have the right atrium. Deoxygenated blood comes into that from the body. It then flows through the tricuspid valve here into the right ventricle. From there, the deoxygenated blood goes through the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary arteries, which will go to either lobe of the lungs. From there, it will get some oxygen and drop off the carbon dioxide, and then it'll come back as oxygenated blood. So that will come back through the pulmonary veins here and empty into the left atrium. It'll then go through the mitral valve into the left ventricle. Then the oxygenated blood goes through the aortic valve, out through the aorta, to the body, to your head, to your arms, legs, everywhere. The oxygenated blood will be delivered and it'll pick up waste products. So the next thing we're going to do is kind of review that anatomy and explain more the flow of the blood. So I'm going to draw some arrows going through to show you exactly where it's going. So we're going to start here in the right atrium again. The blood will travel through the tricuspid valve. Draw an arrow there. Into the right ventricle, where the blood will then go through the pulmonary valve, out through the pulmonary arteries, which are right up here, and that is where we will add our pulmonary circulation, which we can add that here. So now we have our pulmonary circulation added. So again, that's coming from the pulmonary arteries, which are shown here. So we're going up into the lungs with our deoxygenated blood, where we will drop off our waste products, carbon dioxide, and pick up our oxygen and become oxygenated again. So then you can see that coming here through the other side, back down into the heart, through the pulmonary veins. Same here, coming back into the left atrium, down through into the left ventricle. From there, it's pumped out to the body, so it goes through the aortic valve again, through the aorta, and to the rest of your body. So we've now added our systemic circulation here, which is through your body. So this came from your aorta going down and delivering oxygen to the rest of your body. So oxygen is delivered, carbon dioxide is picked up, it becomes deoxygenated blood, goes back up, in through the inferior vena cava and the superior vena cava, where the whole thing starts back over again. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the mechanical versus electrical function of the heart. So there's two types of cells in the heart. One is called the myocardial cells, and those are the ones that actually do the contracting, and they conduct the impulse that is sent to them by the pacemaker cells, which is the other type of cell. So the pacemaker cells are able to generate their own impulse. That impulse is then sent through a conduction system and then goes through the contractile cells or the myocardial cells, and it travels through the heart, and that is how the heart is able to pump. So the mechanical pumping, you can see that the muscle here around the left ventricle is much larger because it's pumping up through the aorta and it's going out to the rest of the body, and since it has such a large area to cover, that's why the muscle is so much bigger there as compared to the right ventricle, where it's a little bit smaller since it only has to pump to the lungs. So that conduction system, I'm going to use a different marker just to write that out. It starts with the SA node, which is up here, and then it goes to the AV node, and then the bundle of His, which is right here, and then it has the left and right bundle branches, which leads to the Purkinje fibers. So they will go down here, up and around, down here, up and around. So the SA node is in charge of the heart, so to speak. So its intrinsic beat, or what it normally beats at, is 60 to 100 per minute. So that's normally what controls us. If that fails, then the AV will take over, and that beats at 40 to 60. If that fails, then the bundle branches and Purkinje fibers beat at less than 40. So you can tell by a heart rate what part is actually in charge. So it starts in the SA node, the conduction, goes to the AV, then the bundle of His splits into the bundle branches and goes out with the Purkinje fibers, and that is how your heart beats. Okay, lastly, we're going to talk about how the brain controls the heart. So it starts with the autonomic nervous system. That is split up into the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So the parasympathetic nervous system is like the rest and digest. The sympathetic is the fight or flight. Parasympathetic decreases your heart rate, decreases the rate of conduction to the AV junction, and it decreases the contractility of your heart. So it also decreases cardiac output. So we're going to go and see exactly how the sympathetic nervous system would work, which is the exact opposite. And the best way to show that is to meet someone who just got off the scene of a fire. Here we are on the scene of a fire, where one of the firefighters just got off the line.
Stand by just a moment here, little lady. My Division 1, this is Weedle up on A section. I'd like you to let the medic know that my heart rate is going so fast and I can feel the increased contracting of my heart muscles. I want you to let them know that I can even tell the impulse is being conducted faster through the AV junction. Yep, copy that.
There you have it, folks. That's how the sympathetic nervous system works.